When you are flying 40,000 feet high in the air, you want to make sure that everything goes perfectly fine. You might feel safe up there, but that is because there are so many things you do not know. From things that could save your life to ways to save money, there are things that most passengers will never know. Wait until you hear about how many pilots fall asleep when they work. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today we are revealing 10 things airlines don't want you to know. The tiny hole on the window. If you ever went on a plane, you probably spent hours looking around you and wondering what to do on your uncomfortable seat. And if you had the chance to be sitting close to the window, you probably spent too much time thinking about why there was a tiny hole there. Is it even supposed to be there, or is the plane about to crash? To keep the pressure contained 36,000 feet above sea level, there can't be holes anywhere. So, is this scary little thing trying to end your life? Don't worry, everything is going to be fine. The tiny holes in airplane windows, called bleed holes, are actually there for your safety. There are 3 window panes, and the hole is located on the middle one. You are not in contact with the air outside of the plane. But why is it there anyway? It reduces the pressure on the middle pane, so only the outer pane takes the force of the cabin pressure. If one of the panes is broken, we'll still have 2 others to protect us. Next time you're on a plane, you'll have something interesting to say to the passenger sitting next to you. The secret life of air hostesses. These women are always smiling, but that doesn't mean they're doing the easiest job. There are so many things you don't know about being an air hostess. First, there is a reason why they look so good. Some of them are not allowed to gain weight, or they will be asked to lose it in a month. There are also strict grooming standards for their skirt, their heels, their nails, and even their lipsticks. But that doesn't mean these girls are superficial. They are really smart too. Some of them are asked 2 emergency procedure questions and 1 medical question before the flight. Air hostesses are also trained to deliver babies in midair until the emergency services arrive. They are the one you need if the plane crashes and you end up on a television show like Lost. After years living on planes and traveling around the world, air hostesses are real-life survivors. These women seem to be perfect, but don't think they are there to flirt or even make small talk. They have a lot of things to do if they want to make everyone happy. So go back to work, Britney Spears. Your influence is toxic for the whole team, but that's not a reason not to give them tips or gifts. Air hostesses love to see that you appreciate all of the things that they are doing for you. The truth about mobile electronic devices. Do you remember when the air hostess asked you to turn off your cell phone when you were preparing for takeoff? She never explained why, but most of us thought that the one who left their phone open would be the reason why the aircraft crashes. And you might be scared to go on a plane ever again if you know that 4 out of 10 US air passengers admitted that they don't always turn off their electronic devices. But why do we need to anyway? That is because it can cause interferences. The gadgets connect to the internet using radio frequencies, just like the ones the pilots need. This could affect the radar, communications, and the collision avoidance technology. Some pilots admitted that they missed a clearance or 2 because of cell phone users. So it is true that you shouldn't use mobile electronic devices after all. It is to be taken seriously. But that doesn't keep the crew from breaking this rule and using their cell phone anyway, just after telling people not to do that. And what happens when a passenger does the same thing? They could be asked to leave the plane if they refuse to cooperate, just like it happened to actor Alec Baldwin. He refused to stop playing Words with Friends and had to be kicked off before the takeoff. You better not waste your time and everyone else's life and just turn off your cell phone. Let's go 10 years back in time and learn how to live without our electronic devices. The food you eat. Anyone who has ever been on a plane agrees that the food usually looks disgusting, and you're right to think so. Most of the staff would never eat the food that they serve. The pilots don't even have the right to eat the same meal, whether they're on the plane or their day off. That's because they want to make sure that the 2 of them won't get food poisoning. And by the look of it, they just shouldn't eat anything that is served on board. And it's not just the food that you shouldn't touch. The trays don't get cleaned as often as they should. You might think that the water should be fine, but you are absolutely wrong. A test of tap water from various airlines found out that the bacteria level was as much as 100 times higher than the allowed limit in the US. This is why you'll see most air hostesses drinking water out of a water bottle. After learning all of this, we don't even feel like eating or drinking anything anymore. Anyway, you probably won't even have the opportunity to eat. Food service on night flights can be delayed until most people fall asleep, so they won't have to serve food. Sometimes it's better to be hungry than to be sick. The dirty secrets on the plane. It's not only the food that is disgusting, but also everything around you. And once you know this, you'll want to wear a spacesuit the next time you go on a plane. Before you touch anything, use sanitizing wipes. You never know what happened, and most of the plane isn't cleaned properly. Some people don't mind changing their baby's diaper on the tray where you eat. So when you eat the pretzel that you just dropped and might be eating poop at the same time. And don't walk barefoot on the carpet. Every disgusting thing you can imagine has been spilled on it, like vomit, baby pee, and different human fluids. In fact, don't even touch the blankets and the pillows. Sometimes the crew doesn't even remember the last time they were cleaned. Even if headphones come in wrappers, they have probably been used as well. And for those who think that love is in the air, forget about kissing in secret in the bathroom. This is the least romantic place you could ever find. If you ever wondered why most air hostesses didn't join the Mile High Club, that is because they know about all the most disgusting things that happened there. Forget about intimacy, the staff can open the door at any time. You shouldn't be scared of the plane crashing, you should actually be scared of staying on board. The things a safety demo doesn't actually tell you. After hours not knowing what to do, you probably read the safety demo 5 times and now know how to say it out loud by heart. But there are actually many things you will never know, no matter how many times you read the pamphlet. For example, dim lights are not meant for you to sleep well. It is impossible to have a good night of sleep on a plane anyway. They are meant to prepare you for evacuation if the aircraft crashes during the night. Your eyes will be used to the darkness and you will be able to see more clearly if the lights are off. But that's not all. The real reason why we put up tray tables during takeoff and landing is so the passenger next to you can escape easily. You should also open the window shade so the firefighters can see you if the plane crashes. But there are just some things you cannot plan. Many people steal life jackets to bring them home as souvenirs. The crew makes sure there is one under every seat at the start of every day, but if there is a flight before you, they might not know that it has been stolen. This is why it would be a good idea for you to check if the life jacket is indeed there. The way pets are treated. Many people don't want to leave their pets, but sometimes it would be a better idea to find a babysitter than to bring them on a plane. The airline is doing their best to protect the animals, but some things can't be avoided. They are left alone during the whole flight, with no food, nothing to drink, nowhere to pee, and no one to cuddle. If you think that a 12-hour flight is long, just try to imagine what it is like for them. But that is not the worst thing. There is a lot of noise around them, and they could be waiting in the heat, cold, or rain. On the plane, cats and dogs also have trouble breathing, and some of them can overheat due to high temperatures. And even though the crew does their best to protect the animal, mistakes can happen. Your dog could be shipped to the wrong place or left unattended. And if this happens, few airports are equipped to handle animals. Waiting for you to find them could be a life-threatening experience. The best thing to do is to take the animal with you in the cabin, but it is not always possible, and only small animals in a pet carrier are accepted. So if you really love your dog, leave them at home with someone to take care of them. The way bad passengers are treated. This time, we have to admit that we don't care much if bad passengers are not well treated. When the passenger is rude with the check-in staff, some of them make sure that they'll have a seat in an area circled with children. If you're a frequent flyer, they could even note in your account that you are a problem customer. And don't expect to get a flight upgrade if you're demanding and rude. Even if one place is available, they won't give it to you. Those who are upgraded are usually extremely nice, well-dressed, and good-looking. But if you really want to become a troublemaker, you'll see that sitting for hours on a tiny seat isn't that bad compared to what the crew can do to stop you. You could be arrested during the flight. In case of emergency, the captain can call the authorities so they take care of you when the plane lands. And while you wait on board, the captain can put you in restraints if they think you could be dangerous. Don't forget that you're not the only one on the plane, and you want everyone to have a good time. So even if there's a delay or someone annoying you, don't forget that the staff is doing their absolute best to handle the situation, and you should be doing the same thing too. The best ways to save money. If you are a good customer, there are many ways you can save money. The first thing you want to do is pick your travel dates wisely. In the United States, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday are the best days to save money on your ticket. When you want to book a group trip, search for only one ticket at a time. If you are a group of 5 people, you might not be able to find tickets at the lowest fare. But if you buy 5 tickets separately, you could save a lot of money. And if you want a better seat, the best time to do it is 4 days before your flight. This This is when airlines start upgrading flyers and some of the best seats open up. If your flight is overbooked, don't accept the first $200 voucher. The airline will keep increasing the offer until enough volunteers are willing to give up their seats. Even if no one wants to accept the money and you're the unlucky one who won't have a seat on board, insist on cash compensation. You could get as much as $1,300 in cash depending on the ticket price and the delay. And if your flight is canceled, there is still a way for you to get your money back. Even if you have a non-refundable fare, sometimes just asking for compensation can solve all of your problems. Know what you are entitled to. The danger in the air. If you're afraid that the aircraft might crash, you don't have to worry. The odds of a plane crash are about 1 in 11 million. But this is not a reason not to stress a little bit. Did you know that each commercial airplane is struck by lightning more than once each year? That seems terrifying. But what really happens when you fly through a heavily charged region of cloud? Most aircraft skins are made of aluminum, which conducts electricity. This is why the lightning current remains on the exterior of the plane. The worst thing that could happen is that you may see a flash and hear a loud noise, so there's nothing to really be afraid of. What is more dangerous is actually what happens inside the plane. It is expensive to carry too much fuel because it gets heavy. This is why the airline keeps the level as low as possible to save money. But this is not a good idea if you want to save lives if a problem happens. And did you know that pilots fall asleep while they're flying? Half of them admitted that it happened at least once while flying a passenger plane. Now that is something you should be afraid of. And that is it for 10 things airlines don't want you to know. Did any of these things happen to you on a plane? Don't be shy to tell us in the comments. We'd love to read more about you. And for more stories like that, don't forget to subscribe and watch 10 coolest vehicles in the world. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.